Hey, welcome back. I'm Seren the Healer, and this is another monthly love reading by design. I'm going to start with an archetype from our Sacred Forest Oracle. Then I'm going to pull an overall message with the LightSeer's Tarot. And then I'm going to pull a card for each design type from the Tarot of Sexual Magic. But these cards I have to keep face down because I don't want to show the images that are on these cards on the channel. All right, so you guys just got to trust me for what this one says. All right, let's get started. That's it. All right, Libra, this looks like, what would you call it? Self-fulfilling prophecy. It's like you're doing the opposite of what you would need to do in order to get the outcome that you actually want. There's a situation that is upsetting you or hurting your feelings or making you angry or frustrated or something to that effect, and you are attempting to pretend like everything is fine. And if you continue in that way, what ends up happening is it comes out anyway, but it comes out in an uncontrollable way. It comes out in a dramatic way. It comes out in a childish way, an embarrassing way later on. You know, once you've tallied up this score of all of these things that are wrong, all of these things that this person has done, you're keeping this silent scorecard and you're not saying anything, and the emotion is building, and you are feeling like you need to turn off your light and withdraw yourself, your energy, your focus, everything from the situation. You're thinking of leaving altogether, you know, and it really doesn't, none of what you're doing is what you would actually need to do in order to get to where you want to go, to where you're trying to go, to where you ultimately are looking forward to, you know. So with this protection card, it's a need to realize that you're not in this by yourself. And I really feel like for Libra, there's actually another physical person there that you need to talk to that is in it with you, or that is down for you, or that wants, you know, what the things that you want, or wants to see you get the things that you want, even if they're not like a partner that's there trying to, you know, run alongside you. And then also this message that we got for the month of flow, the meandering pathway, meaning that every step on your path is not going to necessarily look like it is the next step towards what you want. Some of your steps might go this way, some of your steps might go that way, but it doesn't mean that you cannot eventually end up at the place that you're heading towards, right? So it's a matter of trusting that Spirit has your back, that trusting that you are going to get where you're going, that you can't enter any situation with no opportunity to learn something. Literally every opportunity, every person you encounter, every situation, everything good or bad, but especially bad, has a potential for you to learn from it, for you to garner something that you could actually utilize and take with you to the next place, right? So knowing that there is a lot of benefit to a meandering pathway as opposed to a straight A to B pathway. Even though whenever we get those side steps, we feel, you know, we tend to judge it as a bad thing just right out the gate. Oh, you know, I graduated, but then I didn't have the money to do the next step, so I had to do this. Oh, I'm a failure, right? And that's just not the case. You didn't fail until you stopped trying. You know, you got to keep going. Whew. All right, so let's look into these design types. First, we have our generators. Oh, generators have the Fool. So I see this as, first of all, in this deck, it's an outburst. So for generators, it is the culmination of all of those emotions actually coming out. And I'm seeing it kind of like for a relationship, I'm seeing it as a first fight type situation where you are really into this person and you really like, there's way more about them that you like than you don't like. You haven't, you know, been exposed to so many don't likes that you're not wanting to stay in with this person, right? But so because of that, because it's new, because you are wanting the relationship to work, you've been overlooking things, you've been keeping your mouth shut, you haven't been saying anything, you've been modifying your behavior. There have been ways that you've just not been your authentic self, places that you've been gently abandoning yourself, and it comes to a head, right? So this person has been misled about who you are and what's important to you because you haven't voiced these things, right? So it comes to a situation where they do something that you just you can't be quiet about anymore, right? So you have to have this argument, you have to have this discussion, you have to have this fight, right? And so the big fear of having that first fight is that this is it. You know, like we're never going to be able to come back from this. It's over with. Like this person is going to, you know, decide that it's not worth it and they're just going to bail, right? But there is an aspect energetically that can make it so that it's like you can bond tighter with a person after you've had a conflict like that and been able to resolve it. You know, it's like, just because you don't agree on everything doesn't mean that you don't belong together, or that you can't, you know, like just getting through that first fight and seeing how they fight and seeing how willing to compromise they are, seeing how willing to hear you out they are, and to actually reconcile and make up. There are a lot of us, energetic wise, who are able to bond stronger to somebody once we come through that type of a situation than we would have had we never had a fight. And I know that empaths especially, we tend to avoid conflict, and I feel like there's probably a lot of different design types that would make you want to avoid conflict, regardless of, you know, if you're defined or not in your solar. It could also be your spleen, it could also be your heart center, right? But you have that aversion to conflict because of the way that energetic dissonance feels, and how overpowering it can be, how overwhelming it can be, and how draining it can be, right? But if it's somebody that you actually want to be with for the long haul, it's worth it to go ahead and you know, let them see who you are. Stand up for what you believe in, and talk to them about it in a way that you can be heard, you know? And when you hold in your emotions and you hold back how you actually feel until it gets to, you know, so pressurized that you can't control it, then that's the worst time to try and communicate something. They're not going to hear you. You're probably going to be sobbing. You're probably going to be screaming. You're probably, you know, so it's best, you know, to go ahead and face it instead of trying to shy away from it. Especially because it doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to be the end of the relationship. It could be your first step to actually making a strong bond. Manifesting generators have... It's interesting how my generators and my manifesting generators usually have a really similar message. This time, Libra, it is not that far off for you either. It's like you're craving that connection, and you feel like it's not there, and you don't really know what's missing, what needs to happen in order for you to get there. And remember, I was saying whatever it is you're doing is the exact opposite of what you would need to do in order to get it, right? So instead of trying to play sleuth and figure it out by yourself, you know, you have to actually go to that person and have a conversation and be like, I don't know about you, but I've noticed that we seem to be, you know, like we did the whole getting to know you stuff, but I still don't feel like we're really bonded. Like there's something, you know, missing, you know, and you can talk about it and say, you know, what types of things make you feel bonded to a person, what types of activities, what types of conversations, what types of, you know, things need to happen in order for you to feel that closeness and that real connection and that permanent bond with somebody that you're looking for with your partner, right? And of course, you know, if you're just dating, that person might not be interested in trying to make a permanent bond, but it's still a conversation that needs to be had, right? Make sure you're on the same page. Make sure you're not wasting your time. Okay, so for manifestors, I see, oh my goodness. Basically, this is a situation where you want to call all the shots and be in charge. And it's like you haven't really come to grips with that or acknowledged that for yourself. You want to be the heavy hitter. You want to be the decision maker. You want to be the head honcho, right? Whether it be, you know, with your partner, which is how I'm seeing it, or in a group setting, or with your friends, or with your, you know, your work or whatever, work project or something like that. This is a situation where you are feeling like you want to take charge, you want to take control, and you don't feel that the people or person involved is going to listen or respond in that way. And so you're trying to just kind of assume that role and that position. And again, what you're doing is the opposite of what you need to be doing. You need to use your manifestor strategy and inform. Talk to them. There's common good, you know, you're what you want is for both people to be happy ultimately, you know, but the way that you're seeing it, you feel like you need to go ahead and take charge and, you know, be in that position in order to make that happen. It's kind of hard to explain what I'm seeing, but it's not necessarily like power struggle. It's more like, oh, and my voice is doing something weird. Maybe it's a throat chakra related thing. Maybe it has to do with speaking for the couple. And also, I should say, I feel like it's a specific situation that you're wanting to, you know, take point. And you feel like things would go more smoothly. You feel like it would be easier for your partner, and in the long run, they would be happy with that outcome. But you don't feel like if you just go to them and say, okay, what if I just do it? You know, you don't feel like they're going to agree with you. But this message is saying that you need to do that regardless. You know, either way, that's going to be the best outcome, is if you actually go to them and talk about it instead of just trying to take charge and be like, well, we say, you know, and speak for the both of you. Okay, projectors have it's like I'm seeing a completely different situation for projectors, where it's like there's another person that's fighting for your attention, and the person that you're with doesn't seem to really like care about having your attention. And it's one of those situations where the person that you're not with, that you don't even really want to be with, is coming in like this, trying to give you everything that you feel like you want from the other person, but it doesn't matter because they're not the person that you want it from. And so instead of comparing them and asking spirit why, you know, you can't just get this, you know, from the right source, which I would assume would be all you can think of in a situation like this, is, you know, like, yes, that's what I wanted, but not from that source, you know. It's instead a need to, gosh, I'm not really seeing the opposite of that energy. And that's, you know, what I had gotten overall. A need to do not what you're doing. So don't attack your partner and be like, why can't you do, you know? But maybe see it as confirmation that you are a person who can call those types of things in for yourself, a person who deserves those types of things for yourself, and confirmation that those types of things are coming to you, you know? Ooh, that one's a hard one though, projectors. I gotta be honest. That's tough. Okay, and then reflectors. For reflectors, it's like you turn down an offer. But it definitely looks like an offer. But maybe you get this offer in the middle of being in absolute emotional hell. And so you automatically turn it down. And then later you're looking back like, I should have at least considered it, right? I get a feeling that if that's what happened, if you go and talk to that person, there's an opportunity to, you know, just be honest and explain like, hey, when you first mentioned this, I wasn't really in a position to actually think about what you were talking about. But now that I've had time to think about it, I want to discuss it again, you know? Ooh, okay. That is all I see right now. It definitely looks like a lesson. It looks like a situation where you're going to pick up a major key to bring you into the next phase, into the next month, into the next situation that's coming around the bend for you, Libra. And I am excited to see if this helped anybody, if it resonated with anybody, if you feel like that is your situation, or maybe I was close but not quite. Let me know in the comments, hit me up in a message, drop me a like. I really get super excited when I see you guys drop comments and likes and shares and views and all the things. And I am still doing my weeklies, so if you want to see how these play out in a breakdown over the weeks, check those out. They're called horoscopes, and I will be back here again next month. Bye now. Nothing but this moment.